Hey there, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. You might hear some rain in the background. Some little pop-up storm just came up today. It's kind of weird. We've been having a lot of rain. I know there's a lot of rain going out around the country, so hopefully everybody's keeping safe, in particular in the Midwest. So my thoughts and prayers go out to you guys who are dealing with those horrible storms. Here on the East Coast, it's not been so bad, but it's just a lot of rain. And today it wasn't supposed to rain. It was just like this weird pop-up storm that just came through. So if you are on Facebook, you probably cannot see me because I had a little technical glitch, and that's why I'm on a little bit late. My streaming software is not streaming to Facebook, so hopefully people will know to come over here to YouTube. Anyway, thanks for joining me for the kickoff of our summer scrapbooking series. I'm so happy you're here. I've got a lot to do this afternoon. But first, I just kind of want to go over what the series is about. Let me go to my my other window here. So we're going to be doing live streams over the next couple of weeks. Today we're going to be doing a beach themed layout using a Cricut template. Then we're going to follow that up with a title block template. So many of you have kind of discovered my channel because in the scrapbook school because of the title block builder, which is like one of my more popular videos. So thank you all for watching that and downloading the title block, and I hope that you're able to do a lot of stuff with it. So we're gonna play around with that next week. Yeah, it is the 6th. Gosh, I can't believe it's June already. So we're gonna make a title block using the principles from the title block builder. Then a couple weeks after that, we're gonna make a summer themed mini album, and then we're gonna follow that up with the last in our series of what I call Beyond the Scrapbook. So we're going to be doing some summer themed crafts for your home. So that should be pretty fun just to kind of get out of the little scrapbook mode. All of these kits are going to be based on this kit, See You at the Beach, which is my new release, which is going to come out next week. They're scrapbooking templates and SVG files for Cricut, Joy, Explore, and Maker machines. You could probably use it on Silhouette. I haven't tested it on my Silhouette yet, but primarily I use Cricut, so that's what I designed for. So this kit is coming out next week. And with this kit, you're going to be able to do a couple of things. You're going to be able to create a double page layout spread and a single page layout, which you see on the screen. You're also going to be able to create those 3 embellishments that you see. There's a title block, there's like 2 tags, but they're like embellishment clusters pre-made for you, just as the layouts are pre-made. So all you have to do is upload these SVGs into Cricut and cut. I've made it really simple for you. And then you also get 25, see if I can pull that up. Give me a second. 25 images. These are SVG files, which you can modify. You can enlarge them. You can change the colors. You can flatten them. You can create stickers. You could create coasters, t-shirts, vinyl, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you can do with your Cricut, you can do with these SVG files. And all of that is included in the See You at the Beach kit. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be using elements from that kit to make all of our different projects. So for today, let me just show you really quick. We're going to be using some elements, papers, and maybe some stickers from this kit here, Summer Dreams. This is from Echo Park. And I'm showing you this because I want you to be able to see that you can use these templates with the Cricut templates with things that you already have on hand. So this is a great stash buster project. So, you know, use up your cardstock, use up your pattern paper, anything you have on hand that's summer or beach themed, you can use with the See You at the Beach kit that we're going to work on today. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to upload a file from an SVG into Cricut Design Space. Then we're going to look at the file. We're going to make some adjustments to it, changing some colors. We're going to play around with the new create sticker function. We're also going to swap out some of the images that you might see from the template. We're going to use other images from the kit so that you can see how versatile it is and how you can make modifications. Then I'm going to show you a clip of me cutting, or the Cricut cutting all the materials. I didn't want to do that live because we would be here for a while. So I just gave you the clip highlights. And then finally, we're going to put the layout together. If you have questions while we're going through this process, go ahead and leave them in the comments, in the comment box below. If you're watching this on the replay, you can go ahead and leave the comments there as well, and I will respond. And maybe you know, other people in the audience can respond to you too if they're like specific Cricut questions that you might have. So let's go ahead. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to move this out of the way. My kit, we're going to, I'm going to share my screen is what I'm going to do so that we can fire up Cricut Design Space. So what you should be seeing now is the home screen for Cricut Design Space. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new project. So I'm going to come up here to Canvas, and I've actually already opened a window here. Now, when you get an SVG, you're going to come over down here to upload, and you're going to see this window here that says upload an image. And you can see I've already uploaded. I've been doing some testing, so you can see I've uploaded all of the files from the See You at the Beach kit. But what you're going to do is, let me go back so you can see this from the beginning. So go to Canvas, upload image, and it's going to ask me to upload an image which I've saved on my desktop or wherever you're going to save your file. And this is, let's see, this is, let's see, layout. I think I've lost my screen. My phone is ringing. So my computer's doing something crazy. There we go. So upload image, and we're going to customize. I'm sorry, click continue. Okay, so you're going to get this, and then you're going to get this wizard of, you can rename the file, and you can also add it to any collections that you may have if you decide to do that kind of thing. Okay, so this is how it looks when you upload it. I'm going to shrink it a little bit, and I'm going to pull my layers panel over. Let's shrink it one more time. Okay, so this is the layout file that you will see. Now let's zoom in just a little bit here so we can go over the different elements. So if I come over here to the layers panel and I click the little arrow to drop down, you're going to see all of the different elements that are on here. So I'm just going to click on this one, and it highlights C. So this is C, the title here. Then we've got the sun in the background. We've got a beach umbrella, a bucket with sand, a little hat here. These are supposed to be seagulls, palm tree, crab, beach ball, flip-flops. We've got a little tag here, little banner, which I'm going to add text to later. I can turn off any of these layers just by going to the layers panel, clicking the little eye, and it turns things on and off. So maybe you decide, you know what, I don't want this little banner flag or whatever you want to call it. So I just come over here and turn it off. So I don't worry about it in my design, or I could just delete it. I tend not to delete things from templates. I just turn them off and on, because if I want to reuse this template for some other reason, then I haven't lost the different elements on the template. I still have them. So one of the first things you want to do when you look at your template, oh, I'm sorry, I lost, there we go, sorry. One of the first things you want to do when you do your, when you look at your template, when you get your template, is you want to decide on a color scheme. And so because I'm using that "See You at the Beach," just let me go back to this really quick. I'm going to just use the colors to my best ability. I'm going to copy these colors and use them in my layout. So we've got this like dark blue, a turquoise, a hot pink, an orange, a yellow gold, and this is sort of like a peach color. So I'm going to kind of try to affect those same colors in my layout as I design and make modifications to it. Let me go back to the, not sure why this is happening. There we go. Hang on a second, guys. I'm not sure why my Cricut screen is not being shared. All right, there we go. But I don't want that little thing. Oh, all right, well, I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, hang on a second. Because I do, let's get rid of that. All right, sorry about the technical difficulties. I think when my phone rang, it just started making everything really weird. All right, let me get that straight while that's going on, because I do not know why it's doing that. I've not had that issue before. But oh, we got all kinds of weird stuff going on. Oh. All right, there we go. You should see the full screen of Cricut now. Okay, so on my layout, this banner here, oh, I need to ungroup this too. So in order to modify the different elements in this layout, you need to ungroup. So I right click and I hit ungroup. That ungroups everything, and then I can modify each element. So in my layout, the sea and the beach are white. So I'm going to change that to white just by selecting the element, coming up here to the operations menu, clicking on the colored box and clicking the colors that I want. Then my background banner is like a pale teal, so that's going to be as close as I can get. These are the same, this orange, the SVG I'm not going to worry about. The matte for the photo is a hot pink. And the reason why I'm going through this exercise is so that I know what colors I'm going to put on my mattes as I cut everything. This is how I'm going to keep track of everything. This matte here for the journaling block is going to be a pale pink. Well, it's actually a dotted, polka dotted paper. So I'm just going to make it like a pale pink. Let's just pick that. Oh, well, that's kind of close. Let's just use that one. Okay. And then I'm going to keep that color the same. And pretty much everything else is going to be the same. Now, these are my photos here. You've got two this is a 4x6, this is a 6x4, this is a 4x4, and then I've got three 3x3s over here on this side. You could replace any of these photos. You can make this like a 5x7 photo. You can omit one of the photos. These are just placeholders here for you. I would not cut them out unless you just are going to do the layout later. You can just turn these off and on here on the layers panel or delete, whatever floats your boat. I turned them off before I actually cut everything out because I did not want to cut out these pieces of, or these, you know, pieces of paper. I don't need those. They're just placeholders. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I want to swap out some elements here. So here I have a palm tree. I do not want the palm tree, but I do want a surfboard. So I'm going to come over here to the upload menu, and then I'm going to come down to my recent uploads, and that's the palm tree, or I'm sorry, that's the surfboard that I want, and I'm going to add to canvas. And there it is. I'm also going to change the colors of this surfboard. I don't want the colors the way they are. So what I would do is I drop down, and you can see there's actually two layers. So you have like the starburst, sunburst layer, and then you have the background of the surfboard. In my layout, I'm going to make the background of the surfboard, if I recollect correctly, it's yellow. It's going to stay yellow, but I want the blue piece to be like that hot pink. So I'm just going to do that. And the background, actually, it looks a little orangey. So I'm going to go ahead and make that like a medium yellow. So there we go. And then I'm just going to click on it and use those handles and just resize it a little bit. I'm going to take the palm tree, move him off to the side, and then I'm going to put my surfboard here. Oop. And just kind of rotate it a little bit or whatever. You'll do all of this manipulation of the final placement of everything when you actually go ahead and cut everything. So I'm not going to worry about making them in the right layers right now. And then with the palm tree, I don't need him, so I'm just going to turn that layer off with the palm tree. The other thing I want to do is I want to fix these flip-flops. I am sticking with the pink theme, and I'm going to make my flip-flop straps hot pink. I'm okay with the crab and the beach ball. I don't want the bucket, so I'm going to turn him off. The other thing I want to mention is that Cricut does this weird thing when you import everything. It just imports everything as the name of the file, but you can double click on each layer if you want so that you're not confused, and just type, oop, I don't know how to spell umbrella. There you go. And you can just type the name. Otherwise, you know, you just use the icon here as your point of reference. But if you want to be super organized, you can go ahead and change the names of everything in the layers panel. I'm not super organized, so. Okay, so I got rid of the bucket, or I hid the bucket. I don't want the bucket. I want a bird there, a little seagull. So I'm going to click upload again, and I'm going to find my seagull, and he's right here. So we'll add him to the canvas. I also want to do this seashell. And what else did I want to swap out? I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. So let's go back to the canvas and see if I added everything. Oh, I don't know why it did that. I accidentally. There we go. So I'm going to resize this guy. Oop. and put him, I want him on top of my journaling block like that. And then I've got this little seagull guy, and he's kind of like a little nod to his little friends over here who are flying. And we're just gonna resize him like that. And he'll just sit on the sand. These are sand dunes, and we've got our waves. And all of this looks pretty good to me. So those are probably the only adjustments in terms of the design that I'm gonna make. Now I want to, because these images are kind of small, not the ones up here, but down here, you're talking about, yeah, they're like 1 inch, a little less than 2 inches. My feeling with Cricut is that it's really not worth it to cut images that are really tiny, because I feel like the blades don't do that good of a job. So unless it's like a circle or a square, I mean, those are simple, but when you get into a little bit more intricate designs, I really don't like to cut those. What I do like to do is make them flattened images so they could be like their own die cuts, but flattened and cut out, or make a sticker out of them. And that's what we're going to do with the images on the bottom, you know, on the sand and on the waves. So let's go back. Hopefully you can see my screen again. Phew! Thank God. And what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about here. So I recently did a video where I talked about the new create sticker function, and that's what we're going to do to these images. Now I'm not going to create a sticker. I'm actually going to create a cutout printed die cut on cardstock. So what I would do is I would select the hat in this instance, and I'd come up here to create sticker. So if you're using a Cricut Joy Extra, the Explore machines or the Maker machines, you have the ability to do print and cut or create sticker. Create sticker is just a simplified version of print and cut. Unfortunately, on the original Cricut Joy, you do not have that function, so you will not be able to create stickers or flatten any of these image or do print and cut images on the Cricut Joy. But you can do this on the Extra, the Explore machines, and the Maker machines. And I actually did this project on a Joy Extra because I wanted to make sure that anybody who was, many of you have the Joy Extras, the smaller machine. So I wanted to do this project on a smaller machine so you could see that it's doable. Okay, so I'm going to click this hat, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do create sticker. Yeah, check it out. Okay, so I have two options. I have die cut and then I have kiss cut. I'm going to select die cut because I want it to cut through my material, which is going to be cardstock, just plain white cardstock. And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see how it flattened that image just by doing that. I also want to create a border. So I'm going to do a thin border. I'm just going to click through these so you can see the different size borders you can make. You can also do a custom size where you can make it really skinny, really thick. I think I just used, when I cut this out, I did thin. You can also change the color of the border if you want, but I think I'm happy with that, so I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to repeat this process for all of these. You see there's an option to cut interior shapes. I think you'll see it on this one. Let's go ahead and create a sticker for that. I want a thin border, and cutting interior shapes means it's going to cut, depending on the design, it's going to cut out these white spaces. And you'll see how those white spaces disappeared, and hit apply. Always make sure that you hit apply. I have accidentally not hit applied and have not been able to do the stickers as I wanted. I'm also going to do it on here, on my flip-flops. Now, you don't have to create the border. It looks fine without the border. It's up to you what you want to do. You also could just make these stickers if you wanted to and print them on sticker paper and cut them out that way. You can also still do the flatten, but I've been using Create Sticker for my print and cut just because it makes it easier for me. It's just a nice little added feature that actually works on Cricut Design Space. Oops, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. Okay, so that's all pretty much the modifications that I'm going to do. I would come over here and make sure I save my layout so that I'm able to reference it later in case I have to stop and do some work on it. And now I'm going to cut the images out. I've already selected my papers, my cardstock, and I'm going to send everything to cut. Now, as I said at the top of the show, we're not going to do that live. I actually recorded myself and did a highlights reel just so you can get an idea of how this process works. And I'm going to hopefully cross my fingers, play the video of how this works. So that's the kind of the highlight reel of everything. Now we're going to go into, I'm going to show you the actual project pieces. I'm going to switch cameras again. There's a lot of switching of cameras, and that's probably why I'm confused and the computer's confused and we're all confused. Okay. So here are the waves, right? Now, the one thing about the waves is that I used what you want to do as best as possible is, and this is applies to the sand too, is that as you're creating your scene, you want to think about foreground and background, okay? Items in the foreground tend to be a lighter color. Items in the background tend to be a darker color. So think about the ocean. If you're sitting there looking at the ocean, right? The further away you get, right, as you're looking towards the horizon, the water looks darker. The water that's closer to you looks lighter. So that is how this was designed. Now, in order to affect that, I basically used the same cardstock, but the color has two tones. There's a darker color on one side and a lighter color on the other side. Now, this is Close to My Heart cardstock, and unfortunately, Close to My Heart is closing its doors, and their cardstock is pretty much sold out. I'm looking for another alternative of the two-tone cardstock. I remember when the two-tone cardstock came out, I was like, why would I use that? That seems stupid. But now I love it, and I'm going to miss not being able to get it from Close to My Heart. So if you out there know of a place where you can find the two-tone cardstock, I know 12x12cardstock.com might have two-tone cardstock available, but I like to use it when I want to create shadows or depth. So that's that. This is my title background, and it has a little sunburst on it, which I thought would be nice with my sun that's on my title block. And then here, and I like to keep all my die cuts in these little things so I don't lose them, because I have a tendency to lose stuff. I've got, you can see the actual pieces of the die cuts that I've cut out. And then here's my sand. You can see the light and the dark together. My seagulls, my Atha. So we're going to go ahead and build this page out. Now, the one thing I did not show you, which I will go back and show you because we didn't cover that, is this little banner here. And I put text on it. So let's go back into Design Space really quick, and I want to show you how I did that. For those of you who may not know how to do this. If this is review, sorry, but there are some people watching who may not know how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way. So what you want to do is you want to go to your text tool. And what is my text? Seize the day. So I'm going to highlight the text. And what I like to do is I want to use text that is what they call writing. So I'll come over here to the text menu and go over here to filter, these little arrows here, and I'm going to look for writing, and I'm going to select that. And then it's going to give me a menu selection of different fonts that are writing fonts. So let's just pick this one, BTC Brown Sugar. And here it is. And then I can use the arrow keys or the handles here to position the text over top of the element that I want. I might make this a little smaller. And then I'm going to select both of those, and I'm going to come over here to align, and I'm going to do center horizontally and vertically to make sure that that text is centered in the box the way that I want. Then I would select both of those again, and I'd come down here to this function menu down here, and I'm going to click attach because I need the text. I need to let Cricut know that I want the text to be connected or attached to this little banner flag. And if I come over to my layers panel, I'll see that there, and both of them are connected together. Now, it's saying draw. I want to make sure that writing is selected over here, and it is. And then I need to select my pen based on my machine and select the color that I want. And I have various colors, and I just went with black. When you go to make this, all right, well, it's and I'm going to say on the mat here. We're not going to go through it because my Cricut isn't exactly turned on. Oh. And the mat sizes aren't correct because I need to make an adjustment to that. But you'll see here that the text is on the banner, and then when I hit continue and go through the cutting process, it'll prompt me to put a pen, Cricut pen in, and it'll write and then cut. So that's how you get this piece right here. It's pretty simple, and I've done plenty of videos on how to do this. In fact, I have a video using Cricut Pens. If you go to my channel and click under the live tab, I did a live on how to use Cricut Pens, and I go over what I just quickly went through on that, on how to do that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and finally make this layout. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my waves here, and I've got my background paper, and I chose this like teal color to kind of affect the color of sky. And we're going to, again, make sure that we have our light color in the front and the dark color in the back, which I've just completely messed up. Here we go. This is what I want to do. And then this one here. They're kind of similar. They're close in color, but they're subtle enough that you can see a change. So that's kind of where I want it. So I'm going to get my adhesive, and I'm using, this is Hermafix from EK Success. And I'm using that because in case I make a mistake, because it is repositionable. And you now see how easy it is to lift items. Just want to make sure that, and there's a reason why I'm doing it this way. You'll find out in a second. So yeah, it's about at the 1-inch mark here on my layout. Now I want to create some dimension, so I'm going to use this foam tape, and this foam tape is from Michaels, and it comes in a roll, and I love foam tape for creating dimension on layouts. Of course, now I can't get the tape off. All right, here we go. And then we're just going to line that up on top like so, right to the bottom edge of the paper like that. So you see how it kind of like gives you the look of waves coming up. Then I'm going to add my sand. Now on this one I did mark, I made a little mark so I would know which was left and then what was right. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a little bit of foam tape on that end there, like so. I always have hard time with foam tape lifting off the tape. I don't know why that is. Okay. And you're going to just lay that on top like so. Now I do need to, so that's where I want it, and I just need to add some adhesive here so that that lays flat. And then the last thing I'm going to do for my little wave section is we're going to, now normally you would not add glue on top of your layout, but because I'm using repositionable adhesive that lifts up, I'm breaking the rules. And I'm just going to add that light sand on top like so. Now the other thing that you can do is you can add like chalk or ink to just add some oomph to your the die cuts here. I'm not going to do that in the interest of time, but I'm going to show you what it looks like after I finish building this layout, because I did it on a test layout and I want to be able to show you what that looks like in case you want to copy that effect. Next, I'm going to just place my die cuts down before I glue them, just to make sure that they're where I want them to be. Let me just tuck that. Now, I might end up cutting off the edge of that. I don't know yet. We'll see how that goes. And I've got my little bird, my seagull, and he goes right here. And my hat. And it goes on the chair. So that's the scene here. Now let's add the banner. And I like to, before I glue stuff down, I just like to place it just to make sure that it's kind of where I want it to be. Got my sun. That'll go here, and then you see the rays coming out like that. Got my "See You at the Beach" title. Like that. And then "at the" would go there in the center, but we'll deal with that later. Right now I'm just making sure that all of my elements are where I want them to be before I really adhere anything. And then I've got two pictures over here, which I will put down shortly. So that's what's going on over here. Now, I'm going to add him there. Actually, let me get my pictures. So I've used this beach family before. So this picture would go here. And I'm okay with that position. Like I said, I'm okay with like cutting off that on the side. So let me just go ahead and tack these guys down onto the mat. like so. Make sure my title is in a good spot. Okay, and then yeah, that's okay. I don't care if I cut off their legs, or the not literally, but you know what I mean. The umbrella covers some of their legs. That's fine. All right, so I'm gonna use my glue pen for this. Just slide this over and glue that down. Yeah, let's go ahead and, I think these are in a good spot, so let's tack this down. Just move it over a little bit. And my umbrella, I'm gonna have it kind of go like that. Okay. Then let's just glue that down. Okay. Then I'm gonna have my chair here. I'm gonna use foam tape again, but I'm gonna use these like flat foam tape circles. I got these free from scrapbook.com as part of an order. I never say no to free scrapbooking stuff. And just tack that on right there, so it kind of sits up. And then I'll just add some glue like so. And then we've got our little hat. I'm gonna use another glue tab and just put that on top, on the back of the hat, like the hat is sitting on the chair. And then we've got our little seagull, and we can also give him some little dimension and put a glue dot on the back of him like so. And he's just like chilling on the beach there. So there's that little cluster over there. Now let's add my other pictures that go in this section. Now the photos are kind of super washed out because my inkjet printer was running out of ink, I think. So these would go here. And this is a little crooked. It's kind of hard working on because I'm sitting far back from the layout and kind of looking on the screen and seeing what's happening. Okay, and usually when I do layouts, I tend to work from the bottom to the top. I don't really know why I do that. It may be because I just want to make sure that I have enough space for everything. Just in case you noticed that and you were wondering, why is she working from the bottom up? She really doesn't know why. There really is no explanation. She just does it. And then this goes here. And then I'm going to work on the title block. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the layout aside and just work on the title block this way. So we've got our sun, and I am not going to pop him up. I'm just going to have him lay flat and just cover up that Sunburst. And before I glue everything down, just make sure that my letter placement is where I want it to be. I think he goes down a little like that. Just make sure that it lines up here at the bottom. And then at the goes there in the middle. So let's use our glue pen. And I like using glue pens on die cuts, especially like titles, because then I can really get in to all of the curves of the letter. You can also use the Xyron. I have a love-hate relationship with the Xyron because it can be really gummy, and that drives me nuts. And I don't really know why it's so gummy, but all the years I've used it, it's just been gum city. And then you have to use like a gum eraser to make sure that you clean it up. So it's convenient because you can glue everything at once, but I just wish it weren't so gummy. If anybody out there has any advice on how to make it less gummy, let me know. Please share. I am not the neatest scrapbooker, and so it could be just me not being neat. I don't know. Probably. So this is what I mean by the Xyron letters, especially these tiny ones, because it's so hard to put glue on the little tiny ones, but I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I'm not pressing down all the way just yet. Oh, it's CU. Duh. Putting T is over here. Like, that's the other thing, is like half the letters come off on the other thing and the other half. It's just, I don't know. Again, I like it, but I like the convenience of it, but it's just really not user friendly to me. Okay. Oh, okay, I think I remember now. I think it's at the is on one line. I feel like I'm playing the Soul Train Scramble board, for those of you who used to watch Soul Train. Dating myself. If you have any questions while I'm working, don't hesitate to ask. I'm kind of monitoring the little chat window. So I think it was supposed to go something like this. I don't have the schematic in front of me, but you can move these around however you like. I'm also kind of rushing. Okay, so that would be my title. And you see how I have that weird gummy stuff? Oh, it drives me crazy. Come back over here. And just add my title up here to the top. Like so. Now, if I wanted to, I could add some like I mentioned before, some inking or anything like that. I can also put some foam tape just to make that pop off, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it flat. And add my title that way. So that's the left side of the page. What do you think so far? Pretty easy. Again, just cut and assemble. Cut and assemble. You cannot beat that. All right, so I'm going to add a little tack to this guy because he was popping up. All right, now let's do the right page. And I'm just going to slide this over because I want my water, my waves to line up. Same size, yeah. Like so. So we would have that. Oh, right here. Yep. And we're going to go ahead and get our Hermafix. And just line that up like so. And then I'm going to put this on top with the, I need to make an adjustment for this guy. Yeah, that's right. Then we're going to get our tape. I forgot to put my little seagulls on the other page. We'll go back and do that. And then we just line this on top, like so. Flush with the bottom of our page. So that looks good. So I don't need that as a guide anymore. So I'm going to put that to the side. And we're basically going to repeat. I have a little indication here that says top, so I just need to erase that. We're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side. I'm going to put a little tack there, a little double-sided tape. Right there, like so. So what do you guys got planned for the summer? Have any of you already gone to the beach? Because we just finished with Memorial Day weekend, so a lot of people tend to go to the beach during Memorial Day weekend. It's also kind of like the unofficial kickoff of summer. So what are your summer plans? If you want to share, leave in the comments. My summer plans are moving my mom in with me, which would be interesting. But she'll be closer, like down the hall. So hopefully the moving project will be wrapped up and not take up all of my summer. All right, so that's that. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on the right side. So I've got my funky surfboard, and I'm going to use some tape on that. I go through so much double-sided tape. Okay, so then that's probably good spot for it. Next I've got my crab, my little crab here, and I will use a little foam dot on the back of him, like so. Yay! And I've got my beach ball, and what I'm going to do with him is kind of tuck it so it's like floating there on the water. I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool. And I'm not going to give it any foam tape. I'm just going to have it like float on the waves. So you can see you get sort of that layering and it's not so flat. That's why I like the foam tape, and that's why I designed the waves this way so that you could tuck things in there so it looks like, you know, I don't know, interesting. And then I've got this, which I'm going to change, and we'll go over that in a second. I've got here, this was my journaling block. I've got my flippity flops. I've got seize the day here. And what else am I missing? My photos. Okay. So let's pull those out. Excuse me. So my little family here, and then, so this is, that goes there, and I've got a 4x4 here. My journaling will go here, and then I've got these 3 pictures here. Now, again, you can swap that out. I might have to lift my beach ball up to accommodate this photo here. Yeah. There you go. Like that. Or I could probably just move my beach ball, but I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some adherence of these photos. So let me know in the comments, is this something that you think you could do? Does this look hard? Because I try to make these templates easy. I think I did not put this on straight. The other thing I try to do is, even though I have like these little 3x3s and 4x4s, I try to use a lot of 4x6 because you can easily cut those to 4x4. You just cut 2 inches off and then you get a 4x4. The other thing that I like to do, like with these 3x3s, like if you wanted to, you could just like crop certain things in a photo that you think are important and leave the other parts out. You could also, I think I said this already, but you could put like, sometimes you get like those little things with sayings on it. You could put those there instead of the photos. Or like I said, you could just make this another photo. You don't have to use the photos that I sized here. You can rearrange them however you want. Okay, now let's tackle our photo. or I'm sorry, our journaling block. So when I originally cut this, straight, not really. Okay. This is why I'm using the repositionable so I can move stuff around. Okay. For the journaling block, you can handwrite this or you could do your journaling in Cricut. So you would just create a text box, type up your journaling, and then attach to whatever you wanted to attach to, whether it be this or a separate piece of paper, or you could just journal by hand. And what I did was I took, this is from a Project Life kit that I found in my stash, and I just cut this to, I think it's 3.5 by 3.5 inches, and used a corner rounder and rounded the edges to make my journaling block. Of course, you would write your journaling first before you adhered it to your page. And then I've got these guys, and I think I'm going to leave them flat. Oops. Like so. And then I've got my Seize the Day, and I'm going to use my tabs for that. I'm just going to put one on either end because I think I'm going to do something else. And then just kind of tuck it. Again, make sure you have your journaling before you, I'm going to move that, sorry, before you add anything like that. Now, originally I was going to use this seashell, but it's kind of pale, and I could have changed the colors before I printed it out, but I didn't. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go into that paper kit, and I'm going to use the sticker sheets, or the sticker sheet from that paper kit. And I want to use this little camera, and it's like a little instack or whatever those things are called, and just stick that right there. And I'm also, while I'm here, I'm going to look at some other stickers and see what we have. So how about this I Love Summer? And I'm going to tack that right. Should I put it on the edge of the paper? Oops. All right, well, it's going to stay there. I'm going to stick it right there. Put that right there. And then on my Seize the Day, I think I'm going to use this little guy, but I might have to put, I think I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of him so he sticks up. A little smiley face there. And oh, on my flip-flops, I thought it would be kind of cool to add these little gems. Let's make sure I have enough of the same size. Yeah. and put that on top of the flip-flop, like you had a little, like I have a pair of flip-flops that have like little jewels on them, on the straps. So that's cool. Isn't that cute? It just looks so cute. Let me just, so you can get a close-up of that section. There's that. Okay. I kind of feel like I want to add something there, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it later. I'll get back to that. I don't know. Oh, got these cute little sunglasses. Yeah. I don't know. I might leave it for now and then go back to it. And then let's go back to this page. And my little seagull does not want to participate. Summer memories. I'm going to put here. And let's see, was there something else that I wanted to do? I think I'm going to leave that for now. Excuse me. I'm going to put my seagull die cuts down. And then the layout, there were 3 of them, but since I have something there, I'm not going to put all 3 seagull bird things down. Like that. Now, I can add more things to the layout if I wanted to. And there's a couple things that I've pulled out that I thought you could be interesting to add. So I've got these Nouveau jewel drops and crystal drops. I could just add little accents, or I could add something to the waves if I wanted to. I'm going to show you what I did on another layout with the liquid pearls. Like if you wanted to affect white caps, or you could do stickles to affect white caps. The other thing I mentioned was using inks to shade your elements on your some of the die cuts. So if I wanted to shade the waves, I could do that with some ink and these little daubers that are really nice to use. What else could you do? You could use those spray inks. There's a lot of different options to customize and jazz up if you want to level up, or you could just leave everything flat that you see in the original design space file. So that's the layout. I'm gonna zoom out just a skosh. There you go, so you can see it. And that is our finished project. Hope you like it. I think it turned out really cute. I love the colors. I like the ocean a lot. So these are my colors for the ocean. Like the teals, and I love the pink, hot pink, and the oranges and all of that. So you could see like how you can integrate elements from any kits that you already have in your stash with this Cricut template. As I said, you get in the See You at the Beach kit, you get this double page spread layout. You get a single page layout. You get 25 beach images that you can use however you want. And let me show you what I did, because I mentioned it. I want to show you a variation a second. So on this layout, I actually used a different background for the title. We'll just do a side by side. I use a different background for the title. I put the sun in the center and put the U at the, so that's another variation. On this here, on the sand, I used a glitter pen in like a brown to affect the glitter on the sand. I added some jewels to this little hat. I'll just bring this up to the camera so you can see. Put that little jewel accent on the hat. I used a bucket in this one instead of the bird. And then I used some liquid pearls to affect the white caps. And then also, I don't know if you could see, but there's like ink here to add some shading to the waves. So that's something else that you could do. What else? That's pretty much the only difference. This was like a test layout to make sure everything cut. Now, next week, we're going to make a title block. And it's going to be this title block, which is also part of the kit. We'll probably modify it a little bit and play around with some other things. But this would be a nice title for any page. And you've got the little sunblock. I love that little image. I just think it's so cool. I also use the create sticker function for this one too. So we'll play with this next week on the embellishments show. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. If you have questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And like I said, the kit will be available next week. So if you want to be notified when the kit is ready, just go to www.thescrapbookschool.com. On the home page, you will see the kit there, and it will say add me to the waiting list. And you will get a notification when the kit is ready. You will also get a special promo code that you can use for a discount off the kit for a limited time, but you only get that if you sign up for the waiting list. So go ahead and do that. I will also leave that information in the description below. And I think that's all I have for you today. I'm looking at my notes to see. Nope, that was pretty much it. So thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Happy scrapping.